Okay guys, so we're continuing the work on the short game, and hopefully, as you've seen from the previous videos, we've worked on par 18 and some of the basic chipping techniques and stuff like that. One of the things that was highlighted for me personally was bunker play. So the next thing we're going to focus on is playing out of bunkers. So here with Gavin, and we're going to look at a couple of different scenarios out of the bunker. And again, Gavin, maybe you'll just give us your thoughts on what we should be focusing on for these kind of shots.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think when it comes to bunker shots, we tend to complicate these shots a lot. Obviously, you're playing on a very soft, uneven surface, so most people over-focus on the preciseness of the contact. And what I'm going to show you today hopefully will free that up a little bit, get you focusing on just making contact with the sand as opposed to trying to help the ball out of the bunker. I always suggest if you want to improve your bunker shots, it's important to develop confidence first. So don't make it too hard on yourself to begin with. Give yourself a reasonable lie in the bunker and try to apply some good positioning first. Get the ball out, get some confidence with it, and then start to move into more awkward situations. So that's the first thing, is the position of the club face at address. So I like to try and point the toe of the club towards 2 o'clock. So if square the toe is pointing at 12 o'clock, I open the club face so the toe of the club is pointing at 2 o'clock. Then I take up my grip and I try to hold the club at the top of the grip. And that just, going back to our chipping and pitching, the position of your hands on the grip will affect your hand action and leverage. So with bunkers, we want a bit more leverage because we want a bit more speed. The second point is the position of the ball in the stance. Now, we all know that we want the club to meet the sand before the golf ball. By positioning the golf ball opposite your left heel, you make that much easier to achieve. So I'm going to position the ball off my left heel or even off my instep. Okay. The third thing I like to focus on is my weight distribution. So I take up quite a wide stance, but I always try to feel like I'm leaning into my left side. Okay. And I never want to have the feeling when I swing that the weight is leaving that front foot. It's a very deliberate lean of the left side towards the target. Okay. Yeah. So that's also changing the angle of your shoulders as well, which will increase the angle of attack slightly. Okay. Yeah. So club face open. Place the ball opposite your left heel or your instep and feel a very deliberate lean towards the target. Now from here, all I'm trying to do is accelerate. So I'm going to allow the club to swing back a little bit beyond where I would for the pitching swing. And I'm just trying to keep the club moving through the sand. Now as I practice this for you, I'm trying to feel the sole or the bounce angle meeting the sand. And that's what gives me that nice thumping sound. I like to get people into a bunker, get them set up properly, and just practice feeling the bounce hitting the sand. You can hear that nice solid thump. So that becomes your focus, even from a feel point of view. That becomes what you retain in terms of a feel for bunker shot. So let's try one. Let's try another. So again, club face open, ball position forward opposite my left heel or instep, and a lean towards the target. Okay. Now if I had a shorter shot, all I do is I take my 58 degree. We're going to play to a shorter flag here. I'm going to do all the same things, open up the club face, position the ball forward in the stance, lean or tilt into my left side or towards the target, and do exactly the same thing. I've made no reference to swinging out to in. I think it confuses it. I think if your club face is open and your ball is forward, the club's going to meet the ball as it's going, meet the sand as it's going left, and the open club face will counteract that. So open the club face, hold the club at the top of the grip. Now take a nice wide stance because we want to try and be as stable as we can. That's it. Open the face a little bit more.
Wow.
Now what I'm going to get you to do is just push into my hand. That's it. And try and retain that feel, that sense of being on your left side when you're swinging.
And just let it go,
Yep.
yeah?
That'll do for starters.
That'll do for starters, is right. So the biggest change to me is the way that club face looks. And even trying to grip it in that position feels to me alien.
Yeah.
Because it's so far.
Yeah.
It's so far open. A club face somewhere in that kind of region, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. If the toe is pointing at 12 o'clock right now,
Yeah.
we're going to turn the toe of the club so it's closer to 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Take a nice wide stance now, that's it. And again, just push into my hand a little bit more. Push into me a bit more. Good. Now keep that feeling of being forward as you swing. Now, did you notice on that one how the strike was much shallower?
Yeah.
Okay, all I did was I exaggerated each of those three variables a little bit more.
Okay.
And it shallowed out the strike.
Yeah.
So
it felt and it sounded completely different.
It was that gentle thud
okay,
that you could hear.
Bounce
that's the bounce hitting the sand. And that's how you want your bunker shots to feel.
Yeah.
Okay? So once you have that, you also notice that the flight was much softer and spinnier.
Yeah.
The ball stopped on the second bounce.
And we talked about this with other shots, you know, when I'm trying to play flops or any of that kind of stuff. That level of speed to me feels like the ball is going to go, you know, skywards and fly a mile, whereas, you know, that's actually come out quite softly and is only a couple of feet from the flag. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So the first one was good.
Yeah, the first one I would take.
But you took a lot more sand than you need to.
Certainly much heavier contact, yeah.
So same again, open up the face a bit more. Good. Now push into my hand. Push, push, push. Good. And keep the sense of being on the left side right through the swing. That was lovely.